Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 7 o'clock. It is time to call this special meeting to order. Let me make a few comments before we get started, and that is to say that anyone wishing to address this commission certainly will be welcome to do so, and they should do so at the end of the meeting. We will only discuss topics that are on the agenda. Any other thing that comes up will be ruled out of order. So let's call the roll. Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Cieslak.
Here.
Commissioner Perkins.
Here.
And I'm here. So we have a quorum. Do I have any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, or does the agenda stand as presented?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
Discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor? All in favor of accepting the agenda as presented? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First order of business is the amendments that we went over at our last work session having to do with meetings and public hearings for rules of procedure. So what you have in front of you tonight is a highlighted copy and then a clean copy. And the highlighted copy are those changes that we agreed to during that meeting. So take a few minutes and go over it and see if you agree with all of those. Everything in red is what we agreed to. The yellow highlight is something that I added because I remembered that it came up, what kind of map did we need? And I was looking on some other commission's website and saw that they indicated a zoning map. And that makes sense to me. So I have inserted that, and let's see. And then on N, I inserted the word applicant. I believe those are the only changes that I made personally. So take a minute and go over those. We took hunches out. Remember, we hunches, and then we took hunches out.
Yeah, we took some strange,
And congruency, yeah, congruency.
Harmed or, deleted anyone or any reason or anything out of it. It just sort of streamlined. It just seemed a little overworded.
There were words on there that we did not know the meaning of, and we thought were ridiculous.
And we looked them up, and it was just didn't kind of fit,
Congruity. Congruity. That was what.
Congruity.
Yeah.
Congruity?
Congruity. G-R-U-I-T-Y. Congruity.
Yeah.
That was just.
And then the word hunches was in there.
That was it. Yeah, that was.
This is the first time I'm seeing this.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Sorry you missed the meeting, but we need to move on with this. If you've got any questions, we'll go after.
How come I wasn't given this in an email?
You were.
I never got it.
Well, that's the second time you said that, and I've gone back and checked my emails, and in fact, I think you were given a hard copy of it at one previous meeting. So you need to check your file, and you've said that before, and I went back and checked my emails, and I found where I did send you the attachments. You complained about not receiving minutes of a meeting. When I went back and checked my sent emails, I found that I did send it, so.
Yeah. Now, this right here, this historic preservation certificate for submittal criteria checklist. Has
That
this?
doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about right now.
Okay, all right. Okay.
What we're talking about right now.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Good.
Good.
Thank you, moving
Let
on.
me get your email address too.
Okay, you got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Are we good with this?
So, questions for us, I think we do.
Okay.
Like I said, we didn't take anything out of it, felt like it,
Yeah.
hurt anything, you sort of streamlined it, you know.
Okay, that's fine.
More in layman's terms, to help, keep them needed, nobody.
Then I will call for a motion to accept the amendments as presented. Do I have a motion?
I second the motion.
No, we need a motion first.
Make a motion.
Oh, I
Okay.
make a motion to adopt it.
You'll second.
Yes.
Scott Perkins was second. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Cecil, are you
No.
voting?
No.
No. You voted no? The motion carries. 2-1. Now, we need an effective date when these, new procedures will take place. So, give me a date.
Let me ask you this, are there any applications pending or any, business pending that this would affect if we
Yeah.
put it into, it would?
Yeah, this,
Um,
the agenda, Ms. Cooks would affect that one
So
whenever
should we
we have,
wait
whenever
till
we have a
after?
public, whenever we have a public hearing on
Should we wait till after that?
that. I don't see any reason, this is just simply going to enable us to move forward with the hearing in a more expeditious manner.
What will?
The rules of procedure.
Streamlining, rules.
Would we need to?
Well, is she gonna have to file another COA?
I don't know, we haven't gone that far yet. I haven't gone that far. When should that take effect?
At the, regular August meeting, would that be too soon?
The regular meeting? We don't have to set a July meeting, we don't have to set a meeting date for July.
Yeah, I'm talking about regular. Could this be effective for regular August meeting?
Yeah, whatever you want to, I don't know.
I mean, we haven't set a July meeting.
Are there any other COAs that are pending
No.
besides Sheila's?
Not that I'm aware of. Okay, I need a motion for when these new, meeting procedures will take, and public hearing procedures will take place.
I'll make a motion that they start with the, next regular August meeting.
I think it should start a little later than that, and Sheila Cook shouldn't be subject to this because she filed one before these new rules. So she should have.
How do you know that these new rules are not that much different from?
Can I finish?
Yes, of course.
Okay, you interrupt me continuously. Then when I say something about it, you want to cop an attitude. Now let's have some decorum here, okay?
I'll be glad to.
Thank you. I'm just saying, I don't know how much has changed from what we used to have. And you say it's not that substantial?
It was just some of the wording, some of the phrases that was taken out. We actually added some to streamline. It means the same thing, just in more of a readable type text and terminology, so everyone could understand it. Some of it was a little outrageous. It was actually from another city or another county or something that got adopted for here, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, what we are operating under now are rules and procedures that were approved by the HPC in 1988.
That's right, yeah.
So if y'all want to operate on those until August, fine with me. I just, or sooner.
Well, I think we ought to, you know, it's kind of like a grandfather clause. I mean, you know, what people had applied under one set of requirements, that should carry through. And from a certain date on, any new applicants can be treated under these new rules. I said it's only fair.
Well, from my understanding, we changed none of the requirements or anything, they were just worded in more of a way
Well,
that you understood
our
it.
procedures.
Right, yeah, but it was worded in a way that was more understood.
So you're saying that, a COA that was filed a month ago is pretty much, there's not that much of a difference in procedures?
There's probably none.
This has
It
to-
would be more streamlined and easier to understand, maybe, you know, I mean.
This has to do with a meeting and a public hearing, how we could conduct those two functions. That's all we're talking about here. We are not talking about anything having to do with a COA in this document.
To my knowledge.
You're the one that brought up Sheila Cook.
I'm the one that was.
You're the one that brought it up. And, I mean, that's fine. But I'm just, you know, I'm just saying that, for the third time, I'm saying if somebody filed anything, and whatever those procedures were, that person, was accustomed to or thought that that's what, you know, we shouldn't change the rules or procedures on someone.
Well, are you asking that
No,
they be,
no, no.
not, they
Because-
not be?
I'm done.
None of that would change, Art.
Okay,
I
all
assure
right,
you.
okay.
I
All
assure
right,
you.
that's
We
fine.
didn't, we didn't.
Is there something funny, Chairman?
We didn't
Yeah,
Kindly-
if we change the rules of procedure, that means that we didn't treat somebody right.
You know, let me tell you
Since
something.
1988.
You know, when you snicker, okay, you know, you infuriate people.
I'm sorry.
Okay, and that's mocking people, and that's mocking your fellow commissioners. I would strongly suggest that you learn some manners, okay?
And I would suggest that you're out of order,
Oh.
and we're going to move forward.
That's-
Okay, I need a motion. Give me a date, somebody.
Okay, I made a motion that it begin with the August
Regular
regular
meeting.
meeting. It's up, I mean,
I
I'll
need a
second it,
second.
but I honestly believe truly that nothing
Okay,
there is
okay.
gonna change anything, I mean.
Okay.
August regular meeting.
do we know when that is?
Let's see here. That would be. August 6th.
Okay.
August 6th. Okay, so I have a motion and a second that the new rules of procedure for commission meetings and here in public hearings will take effect on August 6, 2019. All in favor?
Yay.
Okay.
Opposed? Mr. Cieslik, are you voting?
No, I'm in favor.
Okay.
He's in favor? Yes?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry.
if that's okay.
I didn't hear you.
Would you like to be sure that everyone has the same, go and pass it down, be sure that everyone look at it, be sure it's immediately the same?
Well,
I think this is,
no, don't you just keep that in
So let me go over what's going to happen going forward. This is just one part of all of the rules of procedure. So we took this section apart and separated it so we would have something to work from, because we really didn't know how long it was going to take to go through the other rules of procedure. So when it's all finished, this will be incorporated in it and I'll be a part of it.
well, wait a minute. We're not looking,
this is all that has changed tonight.
This is all that has changed tonight.
Just this part.
Just
that we
this part.
voted on.
well, then what is she saying about other parts?
We've got, there are 6 pages, I think, 7 pages or something like that. And I didn't,
1, 2,
No, you don't have it all.
you don't, he
so
got it in
there's
an email.
3, 4, and 5 is missing.
You
I
got
guess
it in,
we're only.
you got it in emails.
You got it in an
Sorry.
email. This is just, that particular section having to do with meetings and public hearings. That's what this has to do with.
It's called Granville Historic Preservation Commission Bylaws and Rules of Procedures. It's got 10 pages.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah, so,
Well, what does page 3, 4, and 5 have?
It covers meetings and,
3, 4,
membership
yeah,
and
3,
a
4,
whole
and
bunch
5.
of stuff. I don't have mine with me.
3, 4, and 5 has something to do with.
Okay, membership, what do you mean membership?
It just says who can be a member. It actually repeats what's in the
It
ordinance.
says who can be a member when regular meetings are
Talks about
held,
quorums and stuff
agenda,
like that.
what's on the agenda, adjourned meeting.
Well, okay, we need to talk because, my position is Selma is not a bona
We're getting
fide
off
member.
topic here. We're
No,
ready to
no,
move
no,
on.
we're talking
No,
about
we're getting off
procedures.
topic.
We're
No,
talking
no.
about procedures
I
and you
was
just
simply
said
trying-
meetings.
I just tried to clarify.
But, okay, you
and I'm
just said,
sorry
I
that
wanna
you don't
see-
understand it.
I
We're
want to see
moving
that,
on.
I want to see that part. Do you have the other
It's in
pages?
your,
I have all of the pages.
May I see them real quickly?
Well, this is mine, but you're welcome to look at them.
Yeah, give me just a minute to look over this.
it has a meeting time and date in there, which needs to be corrected, you know.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to new business. And let me state for the record that this is kind of a staff-type review of the application, simply to make sure that we have, that we were provided all of the information that we needed before we have a public hearing and move forward with anything. We don't have a staff, so that's what the purpose of this meeting is. So, we're not going to get into what was said in the application, and what I've given you here is taken from the ordinance on item D, submission of plans to the commission. I've highlighted what should be presented, and then I've also taken that part of the application form and listed it here on page 2, which is not numbered. And then it goes 1 through 8. And then the next page says the form along with all necessary supporting documents, plans, material examples, and so forth should be filed. And then there's a checklist. And then finally, authorization for second party to apply. And I don't think we got that. Did we get that? Was that a part of it? Did we get that?
Yes.
No, we didn't. Okay, let's start with page 1.
Wait a minute, can I say copy the COA we're discussing?
No, I don't think that. Okay. This is Miss COA from Miss Sheila Cook, and she has listed Mr. Seaslick. But she didn't fill out the last page. this is the last page. And when I talked to Lynn, I asked her, did we get everything? She said I asked about the cover page, and she said, I sent her everything, and that's what I got back. So we didn't get this, which I think is page 48. Well, I guess I started. Okay, this is called authorization for second party to apply. That's this form, and we don't have it.
What form is that?
On the,
That-
on the last page of the COA is not,
It's not here.
The one that says highway being owner of the property described?
Right.
Okay.
So
So she needs to fill that out?
Well, quite honestly, I'm a little bit confused about what your role is in this, because, you know, who is the owner of record?
She is.
Then, yes, she would need to fill this out. So, we need to get her to fill this out.
Let me clarify this, then sure I said what I was looking at. This is a authorization of second party to apply for a certificate of appropriateness for the city of Brown. This is like.
Are you going to be
some-
applying? Yeah, that's a good question. Is he going to be applying? Are you going to be applying? If not, she should put no up here or something, indicate that it's not applicable.
Is this for her to fill out, authorizing
She-
him to?
I don't know. I mean, you know, she's got his name on the front and, indicating that he's part owner, so that's the reason why I'm confused.
Well, I am, but that's a different matter. Well, I mean,
Is she delegating authority to you to make this application?
well, she made the application, here it
Okay,
is.
so then,
Okay, and this is so insignificant. I mean, we're not talking about, redesigning Monticello here.
this one we don't need, we're signing, because she is. But we need to clear up who is the owner of record here.
So this-
Okay,
so this application here would be only if, say, Sarge had filled this out, but he was not the owner. So the owner would have to fill this out, giving him permission
Right.
to do whatever. So it wouldn't be something behind a landowner's back or something.
right.
Or a runner, right? In the case of a runner.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so a renter doesn't
Let's say a
borrow
renter-
someone's house and they don't even know own the house and.
Or if they want to put a shed in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and, application for Preservation Commission for Certificate of Appropriateness, section 20.6. D. Is there anything else in here that we need to look at? Can you give me this? So, shall be accompanied by drawings, photographs, plans, and other documents that may be required by the commission.
So what D is
This-
trying to say is, that, you know, I guess a site plan should have been submitted and shown where the I guess said the building was gonna slip, is that what D means? I mean,
Yes, I think so. So D is missing.
And
that's, I mean, that's,
And is that just to ensure that the building is put on the correct property and it doesn't, you know, go over the property line and end up in someone else's property line, or is that, spelled out somewhere else already?
you know, this is pretty open-ended too, and accompanied by such drawings. Are we referring to architectural drawings?
We don't ordinarily get, it doesn't say architectural drawings.
No.
But, you know, but it can be like the case with Jim says,
It could
and his
be.
building.
It
You know,
could
he
be.
thought it was just a little something, and wound up costing him, I think he said $5,000. And, you know, we don't want to, you know, we want to be a historical preservation, not hysterical
Yeah.
preservation. And we don't want to require somebody to hire an architect because they want to do little modifications.
What we need here, I think, are the location of where this building is going. And
The location is in the back of that property. So a lot of people don't understand. There are actually 3 properties over there. 43 LaGrange, where that shed sits presently, is probably 20 feet from the property line. And then it ends. Then there's another strip where I put the road in. That's another separate piece of property. And then in the back, that goes up to the sewer pond. That's another separate piece of property.
So where is,
And what a lot of people made the mistake, they thought that I was supposed to put it behind the building that exists there also. But this is a
we never
separate
did get
piece of
through
property.
this part here. We need to clarify who the owner is.
Sheila Cook is the owner of record.
okay.
Then she needs to not put his name up there.
And is this her admission of?
Well, that's gonna change, it's just, we've got other things that we're worried about right now. And, but, you know, I've got an equal amount of financial interest in this as she does.
Okay, so,
Well, my question is, you're talking.
Now, see, here's the problem that, that comes in, is, you know, I just want to be heard, you know, from, you know, going on pertaining to this property, because I am part owner. Now,
And you said you weren't.
I am and I'm not, technically, I'm not on the deed. My name's not on the deed. So if you want to consider that, you know, then that's it. But in all practicality, I am part owner, as she attested to here. You know, we're not, you know, this is a divorce, or we're separating property. My gosh, this is, I mean, this is so frivolous. And, but, you know, the judge brought, in the last case, you know, the judge brought up, well, he's not on the lease. I'm on the deed. So, you know, that compromises my standing, you know, to cross-examine witnesses in court, which, you know, I believe the judge erred in that, but that's another matter.
okay.
So that's why we're on here.
Okay, in completing this application, it says we need to have some photos. We don't have any photos. And I would like personally to have some photos of the property, and so that I can visually see. And I think that also needs to be available to us. So.
You don't drive by there, you don't see it?
I didn't see that far back in there. I mean,
Well, none of that is important
We
back
need to
there.
have that for our records. We need to
I
have that for
mean,
our
right where
records.
that building is where that property ends.
We need
You
to
know,
have
just
that
a
for
little
our
after.
records.
But that's okay, you want pictures of you.
Well,
Yes.
I'm just wanting to know where a storage building is gonna go. I mean, is that the storage building? Are you gonna put another one, or, I mean, I'm totally, and I'm sorry,
Yeah, that's fine. Eventually, you know, we got a whole different plan, so they're gonna change that whole idea of what we're doing there. I'm just not at liberty to say anything right now. But, no, that's, you know, we may put another one way in the back of the building that but that'll be a whole different COA. That'll be for 49. What we're talking about here is 43, Gail.
okay, and so.
Okay, under 20-6D, we need some drawings and photos and plans for where this building is or going to go or whatever, and I think there's more than one structure there. So we need.
No, there's only one structure.
I've seen 2 structures there.
What are the 2 you've seen?
I've seen a tent or something. I don't know
That's
what-
not a structure.
Well, I've seen another structure there. I don't know what you'd call it.
It's not a structure, it's a tent.
Okay, all right. Going on. We need the photos.
A drawing, or, yeah,
Drawings, photos, plans, and I think that kind of capsules everything. Photos, drawings, and plans.
When you say plans, what do you mean?
what your plans are for the property. I mean, drawings and photos.
Well, that could be a layout of the building you
Yeah,
put
that
there
could-
for that matter.
I mean, you could just scribble out a drawing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're saying plans, you know, what does that mean? Plans for the future? Plans for
No.
outer space?
Well, I'd like to go to outer space.
Me too. I'm ready to go now.
Well, I can't go tonight. Plans is like, drawings and photos, and plans are like.
Plans and renderings for
Plans,
any new
yeah.
structures, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's it. Then,
And if you're gonna take anything down, if anything's gonna be taken down, or, I mean, it goes on to say, applications involving demolition or relocation.
have you done any demolition there?
The city has, there was a house that used to sit
Well,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Was anything checked here on that?
So, and that was, and let's make a note of that, that was a historical home, and it got demolished. So that's the value of that historical district, which is nothing. I mean, we're destroying our own historical properties.
I think my only concern about the whole thing would be, I know the county, when.
So we need to
look at
ask her to
building,
complete.
They would want you to like drive state, you know, so I'm gonna start here, you know, and it's gonna say, and they just have to come out and be sure you're not on somebody else's property.
That's
by
right,
accident,
that's right.
by
That- Yeah,
accident.
the
The
setbacks.
list
Yeah,
is,
make
the
sure you
list,
live within
this,
setback of it.
Right.
okay, the second,
Only
okay,
thing I
the
see.
criteria, submittal criteria checklist, nothing is checked here at all.
I got yours.
So she needs to complete the checklist.
You talking about front elevation, rear elevation, left elevation, right elevation?
Those that are, where are you?
Where are you reading from?
I'm at the last page, what do you,
Submittal criteria checklist, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Those that apply. This list is to help you through the process.
Okay, which ones apply in this case?
I don't know, that's up to her. We're not gonna tell her how to fill this.
Yes,
No,
we
that's
are.
up to- No, we're
Well, you
not.
might.
That's up to
You
her.
might.
You might. But this commission is not going to tell her how to fill out this form, if that is up to her. Okay, so this sheet is missing, so it needs to be completed.
Let me do this, so this list is designed to help you through the application process. Please bring with you these items checked on this list when you file your application. So I guess it would be up to, someone here to check which ones she needs to, which are relevant to the, property or building being put in.
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
so
Did I read it wrong?
what's going on with this is kind of like a shotgun deal. If you're building a house, or if you got a shed, or you're building a doghouse, or you're putting up a fence, you just check off whatever's appropriate to what it is you want to do.
Or
This,
to
this-
whatever you've got.
whatever
to
she
show,
provides
yeah.
to us should
You know what I'm saying?
enable us to have a visual image of what is going on there. And that's what this list is designed to do.
So
It
we're
says-
saying she should, furnish each one of these.
No,
those
these
that
are just-
apply,
Yeah,
those that apply.
like,
But it should say that up on top of,
But no,
Well, if we had redone
Please
the
bring-
COA, yeah.
please
it would
bring
have
you
been
No,
there.
I'm saying-
items checked on this list when you file for application. It don't mean every one of
Items
them.
checked on this list.
but see, it should say that. This list is designed to help you throughout the application process.
It
Please bring
says, if you.
with you
fit-
the items
You
checked
feel that any
on,
other items,
please bring with you the items checked on this list when you file your application. That means bring every one of them, or a certificate of appropriateness.
Or
Well-
none of them if they're not checked.
well, we wouldn't know what front elevation was, we wouldn't know
Yeah.
what rear elevation was. Or-
That may not always be
roof
relevant.
line, no.
Well, well, that's what I'm trying to get to.
All
Yeah.
of it is not relevant.
All of it is not
Well,
relevant.
then maybe it should be worded that, you know, check the ones that are applicable to your project.
Well, I'm sorry, we've not had an opportunity to revise the COA yet, so this is what we have to work with. So, she needs to complete the checklist as applicable, I guess.
Whatever it was.
And which ones do we feel like are going to be, relevant in,
Well-
this case? The,
I mean,
maybe, roof
Just
plan,
dr-
what kind of
a
roofing material?
a
possibly,
detailed-
I see
a
detail
detailed drawing,
and photographs of the building.
list of material to be
Front
used.
elevation.
Well, that's,
Because it's already built.
What is, I mean, is more material gonna be used?
No.
Is anything else gonna be used?
No.
Okay.
Description of work to be completed.
Well, I'll say this, if the building was one of them old tin Sears and Roebuck kind of deals.
yeah,
I
that
mean,
stands out.
I would've run through it with my truck by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never would have put it on there, and,
Yeah, I mean.
and there's other, there, you know, we just started over there. Give us a chance. And you know, give us a chance to catch our catch our breath, but,
I'll
you
say,
know,
well, I'll say for the record, what you've done over there looks good, Sarge. I mean, well, I guess what all this boils down to is, there's a procedure, I guess, you know, and it wasn't done by procedure, and that's where, you know, the huffing and puffing has come from, you know, it's.
well, I had no choice,
Um,
because, you know, I had to move that trailer. I had to move the, shed, the
Did you
building,
give you an
whatever, I don't
ultimatum?
even know what you call the thing.
Did Jim give you an ultimatum and be gone now?
Oh,
or you
oh,
gonna-
oh, yeah, we went to court, it was
She's
very
signed this,
contentious.
yeah.
But this thing, I had to move all the way from, Sharpsburg.
Yeah.
And I had to get it done that day, right away. And that was a hardship, I had to do it.
We're just trying to be sure that people don't follow suit of it's easier to ask
Must be
for forgiveness than it is permission. There's
I know someone that
someone-
does that.
Yeah, and that don't go over well with me at all.
Right, right.
You know, you know, there's a lot of different ways. we can
Well, and I
handle
did,
this.
Oh, we
and I
saved
did
him
tell,
that,
Linda and
This part does not apply.
Latrell and Dino.
Second
That I
party,
have
I guess not.
No, no. 'Cause
Linda Dean,
there's no
Linda
second
Dean.
party, I guess.
And the ones who were the,
Okay, so she needs to complete the form for and clarify
Lord,
who the
I-
owner
Yeah.
of record
oh,
is.
so no.
Okay, this is what we've come up with. She needs to clarify who the owner of record is. she needs to give us some sort of a schematic of the lot and where the building is located. Photos, and if she has them, drawings, and she needs to complete the checklist as applicable to her. Anything else?
Yeah, hang on, can you, okay, owner record. All right, okay, I think I got everything else. We got a couple of pictures and, you know, I can do a draw, I mean, it's simple.
Okay.
And, you know, and that whole thing is just a flux. What I got a sign up that it says, I'm sorry, Madam Chairman, am I out of order?
Not yet.
Well, will you let, just let me, I just wanna, give you a future idea of what's going on over there. That whole area in the front, we're gonna try to put in a beautiful garden. That's just the beginning. Flowers, azaleas, you know, things that have a traditional southern thing that people can look at instead of those nasty weeds that are in the historic district.
I wouldn't write it. Honestly, why?
Well, it's just hatred.
Okay, I will get a letter out to Ms. Cook, and so she can get these things back to us. And we're going to give her, let's see, I don't know how many days she's got.
15. If an application is approved, with conditions of following 15-day delay possible.
I'll have it to y'all by the end of the month if that helps.
We've got 45 days to get this thing, have a public hearing and everything. I'm going to give her, today is the, what? 20th.
What is our next regular meeting?
At the end of the month. 20th, 10 days, 15 days.
Okay, this says,
Okay, hold on just a minute. And when are we going to set our July meeting? That might be, if we're going to change our July meeting, we need to have all this stuff so we can go over this again and make sure everything is here.
I'll get that to you in the next couple of days, just to expedite
We can have
this.
a call meeting if necessary. Okay, let's see, this is the 20th. $15 days? Okay, 15 days from today would be when? Today's the 20th.
July 5th.
July 5.
how long, can we move on into setting
Well, if we get everything back like we're supposed to, then we could set up
a
a
date?
public hearing.
Well, are we gonna go ahead and set up a date for the regular annual?
Yeah, that's up next on the agenda. Okay. Is there anything else having to do with this application that needs to be discussed?
No, it just, you know, I just want to just mention it's not a building, it's insignificant, it's in a non-contributing district, a district that shouldn't be in the HPC anyway. There's nothing there that's historic, absolutely nothing. And, you know, we've been going through this since October, and it's been,
Time to put it there and move on from there.
and it's, yeah, and I mean, it's just been political, it's been nasty, it's been terrible, and it's just wrong. Thank you.
Okay, we need to change the date of the regular meeting. My understanding is you're gonna be out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
The whole week.
okay. So, how's the following week for you?
That's fine.
They going to Sydney or HPC?
No,
Just thinking.
We did that a few weeks ago.
Does a zoning board meet on Tuesday night or not?
I'm not sure.
What do you think?
How's July 11th for you all?
That's a Thursday.
Yes,
That's for a regular meeting.
yes. And that being the case, we're gonna have to have another meeting that month for this, for this COA. So, is July 11? You're gonna be gone all week, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
July 11th, the following.
Well, They've got that big check presentation for the auditorium
Let's put 11.
on the 11th.
Yeah,
This Wednesday, we can have it on the 10th, I guess. But I guess I'll be getting ready for that presentation on Wednesday.
Is that gonna be held in this room, or is that gonna be held in here, or?
It should be over there.
That's
I
what
don't know.
thought.
I
That's what
don't
said in the
know.
email.
Yeah. It should not be a conflict. So you want to try for July 11th? That work?
Well,
That's on a Thursday.
But I've got to go to that,
I'm sorry.
I've got to be at that,
Well, it's at 11 o'clock in the morning.
11 till 2:30 or something.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Maybe we better not have it that day then. How about Wednesday or Tuesday?
Tuesday's good for me, Wednesday's not.
Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday's good.
Tuesday?
Tuesday's good for me, if it's good for
Okay.
everybody else.
Okay.
What day is that? The 12th?
Tuesday.
Well, we need to verify when the zoning has their meeting.
Why don't we just do it Wednesday then, and we know, would that be okay? Wednesday?
Wednesday's
And this one,
I
we,
can do Wednesday,
Thursday?
but that's what we just said we couldn't do it Thursday. Isn't that what we
Well,
said?
nothing wrong with Monday, the 8th.
Is that a
When will you
council?
be back from your vacation?
I should, Saturday or Sunday, you know, 6 or 7, events.
So would Monday work for you?
Yeah.
Okay, how about Monday for you?
Mhm.
Okay.
That would be
June the 8th?
Monday the 8th,
Mhm.
July.
Mhm.
July.
Now, when is the council meeting again?
Oh, that's right, that's gonna interfere with, can't have it that night,
No,
sorry.
How about in July? And
that's it, that's what we're talking
That's
about.
what I thought, July.
That's a month we're in. But
That's right. That's right.
Friday,
You gonna, we're gonna be up there until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
2:30. I guess what it should.
Well.
did you get the, my email? I didn't get it.
Did? It was sent directly to me from the box.
Oh, man.
I must not be on the list.
It was sent to all the members of the HPC,
what was it?
that invitation.
I didn't get on.
Good.
I don't think I got one either, I just knew about it.
I didn't get an invitation. Of course.
Well, you went to school, so
Yeah, I mean.
you're qualified.
So,
You're in the loop.
oh, excuse me, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Okay, I thought it was 2:30, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we can do Thursday?
Thursday, are we back to Thursday?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm marked through Thursday. Okay, Thursday, the 11th,
Yes.
yeah.
at what time?
Can you do 6:30? If it's a regular meeting, it'll be 6:30.
6:30, okay, good with everybody? Okay.
No, that's gonna be, a regular HPC
Regular-
meeting.
Okay,
regular
that'll be a
HPC.
regular HPC meeting will be held
At 6:30.
July the 11th at 6:30. Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to change the regular meeting from the 2nd to July 11th? I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make a motion that we change the regular meeting to July 11th at 6:30.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Yeah.
Are you voting?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
they sent me an actual ticket. You know, it's on here, but I mean, an actual ticket.
Well, we got left
Who
out.
do you think you are?
I'm not trying to say anything, I mean, maybe y'all ought to go, you know, check on it, I mean.
Well, I mean,
um,
who said it?
Now, this is for the Fox.
From the Fox Theater Institute Big Check Ceremony, Sarah Kelly Musical Auditorium.
And that came in.
And when did you get that?
On your email?
June 15th?
No, I didn't get one.
Well, I didn't either. I'll go, well, neither.
And when is that event?
11.
And what day?
No, I didn't get
July
one.
11th.
Okay.
Yeah, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay. Any comments? Closing remarks? I have none.
Me either.
I'll have a entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Third.
all in favor?
Yay.
Mr. Caesar, are you voting?
I did, I thought.
You didn't say adjourn. We're adjourned.
Oh, yeah, sure.
At 7:55.
Yeah. Meeting is adjourned at 7:55. Thank
Yay.
everybody for coming.
Yay.